Hello and welcome to another episode of Real Reading Talk. I am your most gracious host, Miss Seisha. And with Real Reading Talk, I'll discuss the real systemic issues at the very core, the very foundation, as to why we have these high levels of illiteracy in the Black community and the ways in which we can combat these issues together. All right, y'all. So, in this episode, what I would love to share with you all are 10 ways in which we can incorporate literacy in our homes. Why is this important? Especially during this time, right? So, we are, in the summertime, our kids are out, and now we live in a time, though, where that's different from how I grew up. Okay, so I didn't grow up with these. All right. I'm 50. Proud of it. Inshallah, God will, I'm going to be 51 this summer. Okay. We grew up being outside, yelling, chasing each other, hide, go, seek. We was kicking it, right? Parents, a lot of our parents said, I don't want to see you till when? Till the what? Street lights come on, right? This is how I was raised. But now it's a little bit different. That technology is doing the technology thing, okay? And even folks in my age group, we still have to be careful as to making sure that we're not glued to these, all right? We have to fight against that because we have them, right? Yes, they are a necessity. We need our phones, we need our computers. That's what I'm on right now. Need the tablets, all of that type of stuff. However, we do need to make sure that we get a break from those things. And especially our young minds that are growing, that are being nurtured, all right? They need to have a break from those devices as well. I have to remind my own children, y'all, okay? I try my best to, be transparent, okay, and not act like somebody's over here like my kids are, oh, yes, they're just sitting around just reading books and having discuss. Listen, that's why I created this platform because, again, I am trying to make sure that I am helping my family. So I'm starting out with my family first, and then I'm helping you all as well, inshallah, God willing. All right. So, what I wanted to do was come on and give you guys 10 ways in which we can just easily incorporate literacy into our cultures in our homes. All right. So, the first thing is that making sure that we have conversations. All right. Having conversations with your children. That is something that is really simple. You can do that whether you're at the dinner table, whether you all are about to get ready to go somewhere, the car ride, just have conversations, you know what I'm saying? So it could be, it doesn't have to always be something that like, oh, okay, so what you doing? It doesn't have to, it could literally let it be organic. All right. So you guys could be, you could start off with something as clever as, hey, y'all, check this out. Let me see if you can figure out this riddle. Okay. How many months have 28 days? And then they get to thinking, oh, okay, well, all of them. Okay. Bam, there you go. Okay. So right there, just starting something off with something fun. That's a great way to be able to incorporate literacy in your homes. All right. Number two, making sure that you are reading in front of your children. Okay. So again, the statistics, as we know, that data don't lie. All right. When they talk about how our children, the children who are very well read, who do very well, whether it's on the tests, or if our children, they can read very well, they are great writers, all of that. That's because they saw reading being modeled in their homes, and then they actually began to read more as well because they saw reading being modeled as an example. So make sure that you are reading in front of your children. Number three, even put on a read aloud. If you're not physically, which that's going to be my next one after that one, if you're not physically reading a book aloud, have a book being read aloud, whether it's on YouTube, whether you got an Audible subscription, whether you get one of those apps from the library, you have it on your phone to where you can listen to the book on there for free being read aloud. Okay. So that's another way. So make sure that reading is something that can be heard if you cannot physically read a copy of a book. And then going into my next one, which is number 4, which is reading aloud. All right. Now, I know with the older kids, a lot of times when I say older, I'm going to start off with probably starting at like age 8 or 9. A lot of times our kids typically kind of get turned off or whatever. And sometimes you have those kids, which I've come across, they really prefer to read in silence. Okay. They're like, you know what? I'm good on the read aloud. But I'm gonna tell you, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit. You know what I'm saying? When the kids hear me read aloud, they be like, dang, oh shoot, get into the book. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, but that's something that you can do. You can make that book come to life. All right. And I've had that happen with my kids. My kids, I mean, I will be reading to my children. They 12, 13, 14 years old. Okay. That's when, my youngest is 13. But I'm talking about my older ones. When they were around that age, they would still listen to the read aloud, especially when I would be reading to my 2 younger ones. My older ones, when they would be around, they would be enjoying the story too. So the next one is just playing games. All right. Playing games. All right. So you can do something like whether it is, you can get Monopoly, Stratego, you can get Chutes and Ladders, go old school. You know, those are ways in which you can incorporate literacy. And guess what? Uno, when you're playing these different games like that, it sparks conversation, which again is literacy. So it doesn't always necessarily have to be. And the reason why I said, guess what, Uno, is because I know Uno is not that game to where you're actually like having to read some instructions or reading different things, right? You're looking at the numbers, okay? All right. You do have to pay attention. You have to make sure that, oh, okay, you know what? Read what that says. If it says, draw 4 or whatever the case may be, yeah. But again, it creates that conversation. You're having fun, you're having dialogue. All of those things is a part of building literacy, all right? Going to the library, okay? I told my son, I said, grab one of the library programs so you can see what activities they got at the libraries. Because in the summertime, pretty much all of the libraries, they have that summer reading program that they have where the kids have to read a certain amount of books and then they have to log it in. That's why it's good for them to go to the libraries, especially in the summer. Now, I know, once again, we are fighting up against these devices because what I see a lot in these libraries, I just got to keep it 100, y'all. I see a lot of kids still in front of the computers. And I see a lot of kids too there because the libraries are utilized. For some parents, it's like a babysitting zone. So they drop their kids off, they're not there, and their kids just kind of running amok. So I'm just preparing you. All right. So what you have to do, I would suggest, is if you can, try to be up there with your child, and make sure that they are doing something where they're grabbing books or there's a program that's going on at the library, have them involved in that. So that's a way so that they are at the library being engaged with something that's more productive and not just staring once again at another device. Okay. Another way to incorporate literacy is to go out on a nature walk and have your child just, read the different signs, or whether it's a street sign or if it's businesses or whatever the case may be, have them pay attention to that, which actually is creating in them an awareness of their environment. So not only are they able to read, they're also able to see the different businesses, the different street signs, the signs that tell you to do this and that. So now they're understanding their where they are. Okay. So that right there is a great way to be able to get your child into reading. All right. Another one is you can play some word games. Okay, just like I had mentioned earlier about riddles, right? You can play different word games. Okay, especially I would say this for our little ones. Like when I say little ones, I'm talking about like the 2 to 3 year olds, 4 year olds. when they're working on those sounds. You can say things like, okay, you can pick something in the room, say ball, and they like ball, and say, what is the beginning sound of ball? B, b, and then they're like b, b, right? You're getting them to repeat after you, so you can have them repeat after you the sound, or you can ask them, especially if you've been going over these things already, you can say, oh, what's the beginning sound of ball? And then have them say it, right? So that right there is a way for them to, again, be engaged. They're learning, having fun. You can play alphabet games. You can play a game where, like, okay, we're going on a trip and you have to take something that starts with the letter A. And then they say, oh, an apple. Then you all go down the line. And then you can even take it even further and say, okay, now the next person, they have to say what the person in front of them said and what they are saying. So now they have to remember, they have to concentrate and focus. Okay. So that right there is fun. I love those I used to play those kind of games with my kids. Also, do things like celebrate their literacy achievements. So how about having a reading party, y'all? I actually did this for my kids. I did this was back in 2008. So what I did was my kids, and this was actually something that was related on a religious level. So they had memorized a chapter out of the Quran, all right, out of the holy book, the holy book that Muslims read. And they memorized that. And what I did was after that, I threw them a pizza party. Okay. So this is something that you could do. You can do this with just just reading a book, right? Or if you want to do it like maybe with Bible verse or something like that, you have your kid, you want them to be connected to the Bible, and you're like, okay, you know what? I want you to memorize this particular verse or verses. All right. And then celebrate it. You could do that again with a book. Okay. Which actually I'll take this. This will be the next one. So have your kids read their favorite book, and then either you can have your children do it, or you can encourage your children to do that with their friends, and then say, okay, then I'm going to throw you all a party. After y'all have read the book, you got to tell me what the book was about. And then we're going to have a party, and you all can dress up like one of your favorite characters in the book. I hope that you all are enjoying this episode. And most importantly, I hope that you are gaining a lot of gems and takeaways so that we can continue to fight back against this high levels of illiteracy within our Black communities. I just wanted to share with you all something, though. Yes, indeed. Her. That's right, y'all. Your girl is an author. I have co-authored this book, Healed, Empowered, Resilient, with 9 other dope, phenomenal women who come from many different walks of life. And we have shared some pretty deep stuff in this book, okay? But the intention is to heal, all right? That was our intention. We wanted to address these different trials, tribulations, setbacks, all of these things, to share with you all how, yes, these are the things that we suffered. Childhood trauma, through having disability diagnosis, cancer diagnosis, just all of these different things. People in our ear telling us, no, you can't, you ain't gonna be this, or whatever the case may be. You can't do this because you got a hijab on your head, or whatever the case may be. Or you're Black, you're brown. These are things that we've all dealt with. And so this is why we came together to share our stories in this book. And we also said we want our community to be able to break these generational curses that we've been passing down within our families, within our Black and brown cultures. And if this book sounds like something you need because you have been dealing with some different issues, you are stuck, you're in a rut, you have been depressed, dealing with anxiety, dealing with self-doubt, people pleasing, well, this is the book that's for you. Okay? So you can go to Amazon and you can purchase this paperback. All right, only $24.99 plus shipping and handling and taxes. Of course, you know how they do. Okay? So make sure you grab your copy. this is what you need, or you know someone who are dealing with these different issues, this is the book that is for them. All right. All right. So I hope that you all grab your copy as soon as possible. All right. So I'll let you all go back to enjoying the episode. Yes. Yes, indeed, y'all. There's, as you see, there's like a plethora of things, right, that we can do to incorporate literacy. Another one is, of course, making sure that books are always accessible. So again, like I talked about going to the library, making sure that you all have your kids choose the books that they want, of course, that you say is okay. And then they have those books. Now they are just being surrounded by books. All right. Also, take them to an actual bookstore so that now they can purchase their own book. Make that be a regular event. Take them to the bookstore. Maybe you could do it twice a month. All right. Say, okay, you know what? I'm going to let you choose your favorite book. And then afterwards, I'm going to treat you to something. And then we can go to the park. You can read your book while maybe you're enjoying your milkshake or whatever the case may be. Or, maybe you wanted a cookie or a smoothie or something like that while you are enjoying your book. All right. And then I think this is number 10, because I'm going to just tell you, I said 10, but I didn't mark them down. So this is something that just came to my mind, because our kids now, yes, they are on these devices. Yes, they are utilizing them. So how about we do this? Use it to their advantage. Say, okay, you know what? I want you to create a little podcast talking about your favorite book with you and your friends. Yes, y'all have a conversation about it, and show them, just set up something real simple. They got the phones. They can literally, get together. A lot of us, do have laptops or something where it has a camera device, and they can just start talking about their favorite book, turn it into a little podcast. A lot of our kids, they know what podcasts are, okay? And so these are just some simple ways, fun ways, innovative ways that I came up with to share with you guys to help our children and to help us too in the community be able to develop a culture of literacy within our homes. All right. So I hope these were helpful and fun, exciting, and all of that. Please make sure that you leave comments, because you probably got some ideas too that you would like to share, and other people can benefit from your wisdom. All right. So I thank you all for listening, and remember to please keep reading for at least 30 minutes a day, y'all. Reading is freedom. Peace.